Life in plastic, it's fantastic. You know the voice. You know the song. For an entire generation, those words defined the late 90s. But the woman behind that iconic, squeaky voice? She's the furthest thing from plastic you could ever imagine. She cut the hair off her Barbie dolls as a child. She refused to dress up as one for the music video. And she turned a song she once called humiliating into one of the biggest pop anthems in history. This is the real story of Lene Nystrøm, the Norwegian girl who became the voice of a generation, survived love affairs with two bandmates, navigated a painful divorce, battled panic attacks on stage, and emerged as one of pop's most resilient figures. From her childhood in Tønsberg to the global phenomenon of Aqua, from the depths of solo career struggles to finding peace with her past, this is the journey of a woman who refused to be anyone's Barbie doll. Welcome to the unscripted, unfiltered, and utterly fascinating life of Lene Nystrøm. Chapter 1: The Norwegian Girl Who Dreamed of Something More. Lene Nystrøm was born on October 2, 1973, in Tønsberg, Norway, the oldest city in the country. And from the very beginning, she was a live wire. Growing up, Lene wasn't your typical little girl dreaming of pink castles and princess dresses. In fact, when asked about Barbie dolls, the very toy that would later define her career, she once revealed, "If I got my hands on one, I cut the hair off." She was rebellious before she even knew what rebellion meant. Her musical education started at home. Lene grew up listening to the Rolling Stones, Elvis Presley, Creedence Clearwater Revival, and, like any Scandinavian youngster, ABBA. But it was the Norwegian Eurovision winners Bobby Socks who first inspired the young Lene to perform. At age 11 or 12, she and her friends would dress up in pink and black outfits and copy their idols. But here's where the story gets real. One day, young Lene was performing in her living room, singing her heart out in front of her older sister. And what did her sister do? She punched her in the stomach. "Lene, it was this that made me realize that I had to use my whole body to sing. Before that I had been singing flat." From that moment, Lene understood something most performers never learn, that singing isn't just about the voice. It's about presence. It's about power. It's about using everything you've got. She began jazz ballet classes at 6, performed whenever she could, and by her teenage years, she was already modeling and working as a bartender. But her real breakthrough came when she appeared on a Norwegian game show called Casino, which aired on TV Norge from 1990 to 1993. There, she was thrown in front of the cameras to sing Randy Crawford's Almaz, accompanied only by a piano. Her performance was so impressive that she landed a gig working on a cruise ship, sailing between Copenhagen and Oslo. And it was on that ship that her entire life would change forever. Because on that ship was a Danish DJ named René. He was looking for a singer. What he found was the love of his life, and the voice that would conquer the world. Chapter 2: The Love Story That Started It All. Picture this. A cruise ship, the open sea, and a young DJ who's just met a beautiful Norwegian singer. But here's the twist: René fell for Lene without even knowing she could sing. "Lene, he was playing me some music from another project he'd worked on. I remember listening to another girl singing it and thinking I can sing better than her. I told René and his reaction was, 'Can you sing?' That was it, I was in the band." Lene and René began a relationship that would last 3 years. He brought her to Denmark to meet the other guys he was working with, Søren Rasted and Claus Noreen. And from the very first moment they all met, something clicked. The four of them spent an entire weekend together at Søren's parents' house, just the four of them and a piano. There was no grand plan, no corporate strategy. Just four young people who shared a spark. But here's where the story takes its first dramatic turn. That band Lene joined? It was originally called Joyspeed. And their first single? Itsy Bitsy Spider, yes, that children's song. Let's just say it didn't exactly set the world on fire. Then they renamed themselves Aqua. And everything changed. But the dynamics within the band were already complicated. Lene was dating René. And Søren Rasted, well, Søren was about to become something much more than just a bandmate. For the next few years, Aqua worked tirelessly. They spent 14-hour days in Claus's flat, developing their sound. Money was tight, Lene had to quit her job, and René helped support her. But they believed in what they were creating. And what they were creating was unlike anything anyone had ever heard. Eurodance. Bubblegum pop. High-energy beats at 140 BPM. It was weird. It was different. And as Lene would later say, nobody sounded like that. But the band's unique sound came at a cost. Søren and Claus wanted Lene to sing in a high-pitched, childlike voice. Lene, with her naturally dark, deep singing voice, absolutely hated it. It was a hard process, she later admitted. I was lying down and crying, and there were many headphones smashed and doors slammed. She called it humiliating and childish. Little did she know, that voice would make her a global superstar, and haunt her for the rest of her career. Chapter 3, the song that changed everything, and almost destroyed her. It was 1997. Søren Rasted had attended a doll exhibition and came back humming a tune. Just like that, Barbie Girl was born. The song took almost no time to write. They knew they had something good, but as Lene puts it, not the worldwide explosion kind of knowledge. But when it came time to record Barbie Girl, the old battle resurfaced. Lene refused to sing in that high, squeaky voice. The arguments were explosive. She cried. Headsets were destroyed. Doors were slammed. Lene, I said, I should not be a part of that. But very soon after, I could see that's how it should be. That song couldn't be any different. The voice was one battle. The video was another. The label wanted Lene to wear a blonde wig in the music video to look like Barbie. She refused. And she had a powerful reason. Lene, the whole song is an ironic angle on the perfect woman that everyone felt they should be in the early 90s. Who looked like Pamela Anderson. I didn't want to be associated with that. I wanted to bring the message, but no way was I going to look like Barbie Girl. So instead of playing Barbie herself, she insisted on being herself. The video features two actors as Barbie and Ken, who ironically ended up getting married in real life. The song exploded. Within weeks of release, Aqua was everywhere. They were flying into 5 countries a day. The rise was absolutely bonkers. Lene. Everything is new. Everything is so exciting. But the success came with a dark side. People started treating Lene like she was actually Barbie. They expected her to look like Barbie, act like Barbie, be Barbie. And she hated it. The public were totally expecting me to be Barbie Girl. Look like Barbie Girl, act as Barbie Girl. They took it very literally, she said. Her response? She turned very punky, very early on to contradict it. She dyed her hair dark. She went for a rock chick aesthetic. She refused to be put in a plastic box. And then the lawsuit hit. Mattel, the makers of Barbie, sued their label for trademark infringement. The lawsuit dragged on for years. It created significant distractions and stress for the band. Looking back, Lene still defends the song's innocence. I do believe Mattel saw an opportunity to get some attention, she said. The song was quite innocent, and it wasn't sexist at all. It was kind of more making fun of the Pamela Anderson kind of girl. But the damage was done. Lene had become synonymous with a song she sometimes resented, associated with an image she fought against, and trapped in a persona she never wanted. And then, the personal dynamics got even more complicated. Chapter 4, Love Triangles, Breakups, and a Wedding in Vegas. Remember René Diff? The man who discovered Lene on that cruise ship and became her boyfriend? Well, 3 years into Aqua's rise, their relationship ended. But here's where the story gets wild. In 2001, the same year Aqua announced their split, Lene Nystrøm married another bandmate, Søren Rasted. Yes, you heard that right. She dated one bandmate, then married another. And both of them were still in the band. Narrator. The wedding was held on August 25, 2001, in Las Vegas. The timing is fascinating. The band officially announced their breakup just days earlier on August 14, describing it as mutual after members concluded the spark is missing. Rumors swirled that Lene's relationship with Søren, and the end of her relationship with René, was one of the reasons Aqua split. Lene herself has described the band's dissolution as a huge painful divorce. And suddenly, she found herself alone. Lene. They put me into this music machine and I was standing alone and I didn't feel I had the voice. I just felt freaking lonely. I was used to having the boys around me. It wasn't something I felt good about. And so, in the midst of heartbreak and career upheaval, Lene embarked on a solo career. She signed with Polydor Records and released her debut album Play With Me in 2003. The album showed a change in musical style, from bubblegum pop to a more R&B influenced sound. But the album performed poorly. It reached only number 30 on the Danish charts and number 74 in Norway. In her hometown of Tønsberg, it sold just 3 copies. The lead single, It's Your Duty, did better, peaking at number 3 in Denmark and number 9 in Norway. But overall, the solo era was a struggle. Lene. If it was today, I would do it differently because I was just out of Aqua, and I didn't really have the strength to stand up for myself or didn't feel secure enough to stand up for myself. It was more like what Universal wanted to do, than what I wanted to do. But here's the twist, while she struggled as a solo artist, she found success as a songwriter. Lene co-wrote No Good Advice for Girls Aloud, which became a breakout hit and reached number 2 in the UK charts. She also co-wrote You Freak Me Out for the group. And through it all, she was building a family. She moved to Denmark from London with Søren. On November 6, 2004, she gave birth to their daughter, India. 2 years later, she welcomed a son, Billy. Chapter 5: Marriage, Motherhood, and a Painful Divorce. For 16 years, Lene and Søren Rasted were one of pop's most enduring couples. They had 2 children, built a life together, and even continued working together in Aqua after the band reunited. In 2007, Lene was flipping through channels when she saw a clip of Aqua. She thought, let's get the band back together. Aqua reunited for concerts, released a greatest hits album, and in 2011, released their 3rd studio album Megalomania. But the personal dynamics remained complex. Working with an ex-boyfriend and an ex-husband? That's a challenge most people couldn't even imagine. Lene, when you have something bigger together, you want to fight for that to still be the same. There was never any kind of discussion with René or Søren to stop playing, to stop having concerts, or to stop working. We have that in common and it's a good feeling when we are together. But even the strongest bonds can break. On April 27, 2017, Lene and Søren announced their divorce after 16 years of marriage. The news came as a shock to fans worldwide. The couple has remained remarkably private about the reasons for their split. But what we do know is that Lene had to navigate the complexities of ending a marriage with someone she still had to work with professionally. Lene. We are totally enjoying it now more than ever, she said about performing with Aqua, even after the divorce. It's a testament to her strength, and to the unique bond she shares with her bandmates. She's described Claus Noreen as her soulmate on stage. And despite all the relationship drama, the band has continued performing together. Claus has since left the group, but Lene, Søren, and René continue. Lene. I'm actually most proud of what we have achieved publicly, but also what we have achieved inwardly. We are still the best of friends, and we will never lose that. Chapter 6: The Dark Side of Fame, Panic Attacks and Onstage Breakdowns. For all the glitter and glamour, Lene Nystrøm's journey hasn't been easy. And perhaps the most difficult chapter is still being written. In March 2024, Aqua performed in Perth, Australia. It was their first Australian tour since 2018. And what unfolded on stage was something nobody expected. The show began with a glitch. The screen behind the band read, "Hello, Adelaide." Wrong city. Then, during a song, Lene pulled out her earpiece and walked off stage. The band continued performing without her, floundering. The audience was told there was a sound issue and they'd be back in 8 minutes. But 8 minutes turned into an hour. Reporter, according to eyewitnesses, when Lene returned, she was in her pajama bottoms and a t-shirt. She was crying. She was heavy breathing. She had clearly been having what was described as a panic attack. Witnesses described her as over it by then. During turn back time, she put down the microphone and let the audience sing. Lene, the only time I've been sick was actually the last time we toured Australia, 2 years ago. I came from a huge production in Denmark I was doing. I was one of the judges in the show The Voice, and I just finished that as the production ran for about 6 months for it too. I was exhausted and usually you can hold your sickness back until you're finished, but I got pneumonia. But this time wasn't physical illness. It was something deeper. Something she'd been carrying for years. Lene, I think being in this profession, you have to kind of push the button and you just give it your all because there's nothing, you can't be sick in this business. There's no room for it, you just have to pull yourself together somehow. The pressure of being Barbie Girl for 30 years. The strain of working with ex-lovers. The weight of expectations. It all seemed to catch up with her on that stage in Perth. The band tried to keep the show going. They attempted to revive the energy. But the audience was left feeling confused and concerned. One attendee described the experience as horrendous, not because of the performance issues, but because of the lack of communication. But here's the thing about Lene Nystrøm, she's a survivor. She's been knocked down before, and she's always gotten back up. Chapter 7, Finding Peace and Embracing the Legacy. Today, Lene Nystrøm is embracing life on her own terms. She's active on social media, sharing content and connecting with fans who've supported her for decades. Lene, clothing gives me strength. If I feel sexy, then I feel strong. If it's too girly, I feel sexier if it's a bit rough. She's talked openly about her journey, her struggles, and her growth. She's proud of what Aqua achieved, and what she's achieved individually. Lene. We've always been super proud of Aquarium, she said. We released our baby into the world and, in America, it was a different point of view than Asia, it was very strong opinions. And that was kind of hard to deal with. But she's also found peace with the song that defined her career. Lene, I do believe that sometimes in life you need people that you can create something special with, and you're going to love to bits. I do believe if it wasn't for the four of us, it wouldn't be what it is. And her children? Her daughter, India, is now in her late teens and less impressed with her mother's iconic style than you might expect. Lene, everyone that comes into my room is like, what the F asterisk asterisk asterisk? And you can spend hours in there. But my daughter, not so much. I think her watching me in out their clothes throughout the years has made her go the other way. As for the Y2K revival currently sweeping through fashion and music? Lene's not just watching it, she lived it. Lene, the crop tops and the baggy pants, that's what I was wearing at the start. It's funny to see how everything comes around. Music-wise and in fashion. These days, Aqua continues to tour. They've found their rhythm, performing together, creating joy, and leaving the past behind. Lene, it's amazing to be able to do this. To just do a tour every once in a while with the others is just amazing. Her father remains their #1 fan. She once described him as the dude at the shows walking around in full-on merchandise, standing in the pit and, talking with the girls and saying, "That's my daughter." Conclusion, the real Lene Nystrøm. So who is the real Lene Nystrøm? She's the girl who cut the hair off her Barbie dolls. She's the woman who refused to be one. She's the voice behind one of the most iconic songs in pop history, a song that made her billions of dollars and millions of fans, but also brought her years of scrutiny, pressure, and pain. She's a woman who loved 2 bandmates, married one, divorced him, and still performs beside them. She's a mother of 2 who's trying to find balance in a life that's never been balanced. She's a performer who's given everything to her audiences, even when she had nothing left to give. Lene, I knew I was going to do something different. When you're a kid and getting there, it's a long way to go and you have to have lots of luck with you as well. I'm so happy to be able to live like this. Lene Nystrøm is proof that behind every pop sensation is a real person, someone with real struggles, real heartbreaks, and real strength. She's not plastic. She's not fantastic. She's real. And that's far more fascinating than any doll ever could be. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Lene Nystrøm, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And tell us in the comments, what's your favorite Aqua song? Is it Barbie Girl, Dr. Jones, Turn Back Time, or something else? We'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay real, and don't let anyone put you in a box.